Hello, here we go. So today's practice is um, diving deep into the wintry depth, which is where we are going. So it is uh, the river of the holiday season that we are approaching. And there's this bhakti teaching that we must cross the torrential river to come to peace, right? And so the torrential river we could think about as life, and the crossing of such is a journey, right? And so we have these practices to help us kind of navigate the river. So this practice today is one to help us settle in, so into the wintry depth. And winter is a time of dissolution, right? So there's a lot of kind of letting go and coming into emptiness. Yeah. And so we're just going to let this practice kind of guide us, let it be something that soothes, right? So this is meant to be kind of a soothing practice. So let's go ahead and start standing. I know you can't see all of me standing here, but you can and then make up in your mind what you don't see up here. But let's go ahead and we'll start with hands on the heart, a little bend in the knees, and let yourself sink down a little bit. Let the head come forward, and then press into the feet, straighten the legs, and let that effort lift and open the heart. And so there's just this real gentle kind of attunement towards the pulse of life. And letting yourself round forward a bit. And then as you press into the feet and lift the heart, there's this lifting up through the whole body. And so you just find your own rhythm. It could be with the breath, it could be a few breaths per movement. Just kind of sensing into pulse. Mm-hmm. We're going to add a little arm. So when you come down, the hands can be crossed on the heart. And then when you lift up, you can come opening the arms. You might even heel toe the feet a little wider. So the hands come in, we round in, and then opening wide. Like a big breath in, spreading the wings, gathering all the energy back in, rounding forward, and then opening, expanding. And you can just feel how these simple movements let the attention travel inwards, right? So we just kind of settle into the dissolution of the self that we're used to inhabiting, and letting ourselves kind of open up into something maybe a little bit more spacious. Mm-hmm. Next time the hands land on the heart, let the hands land, let them rest there. Feel the heaviness of the hands on the heart. Turn your attention towards the pulse. So when we're diving deep, it's exactly where we're diving to, the very center. Maybe you can feel the breath under the hands as well. And then release the hands just out in front. Bend the knees. Draw the elbows together and like you're almost giving yourself like a helmet. Just going to wrap the arms around, the elbows come wide, and then the hands can travel actually up towards the sky and down and around. Yeah, so I'm going to turn the video upwards a little bit. I just realized I can totally do that. You can see more. So the hands are out wide, the elbows come together. We come up and around, kind of bowing the head in. And then as the elbows fly outwards, lift the heart, and then reach the hands up towards the sky. Palms are facing out. And then we reach wide all the way down. And we could do that twice more. So it's the helmet, the elbows wide, the heart lifts, the hands lift, knees stay bent, maybe. So you're rooted, and then arms come wide. One more time, just like that. Hands forward. Helmet coming up and around. Spin the palms up. Take the fingers wide, wide, wide. And then come standing. Slide the hands to the low back. Roll the shoulders onto the back. Lift the chest. And lead with the heart. Fold forward. Let the hands massage down the legs. Let the hands travel up the legs. Onto the back body. Lift the heart. Lead with the heart. Lean forward. Fold in. Just as far as feels okay in your body today, right? So if you want to stay more mellow, you just make smaller movements. The important thing is coming, right? Showing up. Showing up for practice. Showing up for this space. Hands to the low back. Lift the heart. You don't have to be with me. We're just going to move through these movements a few more times. So the heart's lifting. Heart's leading. Folding forward. Hands up the legs. Wraps around onto the back body. Support of the hands to lift through the heart. And then see if you can fold all the way in. You might heel toe the feet a little further apart. Bring the hands perhaps down to the ground. And if they can come to the ground, you might need a generous bend in the knees for this. Turn the palms up. Release the crown of the head down. You can keep riding the wave of the breath. Each inhale, it's a little bit of a lift. And then the exhale, releasing. And then let's come walking the hands forward. And bring the knees down to the ground. Walk the hands all the way forward so that you're coming into this kind of modified plank pose. So even when you come into this modified plank pose, if it's okay to lift the feet, so you'd be on your knees, and then you let the knees come over, feet over to one side, and then feet over to the other side. It's just real easy. This feels pinchy in the low back. You just either lift the hips a little bit more to do this, or avoid it and just kind of stay right steady. But if this kind of little gentle movement feels okay, find this little gentle movement, and then elbows come back, heart comes all the way down to the ground. We're going to bring forehead onto the forearms here, the hands. I like to take the feet a little bit wider and wiggle enough to find like most of the body, the front body, onto the earth. And as you're breathing here, you're just feeling the openness of the front of the body down towards the earth. So because the earth is coming up to support the front body, it has this opportunity to perhaps release something that's held. And then you're going to give just like a little bit of a wiggle side to side with the hips. I like to go slow. It's almost like I'm pretending I'm going to lift one knee towards the armpit, but I don't really move it. When I shift the hips over to the other side, and like I'm going to lift the knee. You just let that movement travel in the body. Mm, yeah. And then we're going to take the hands a little wider and continue with that, but it's going to be a little bit of the shoulders going side to side here. So it's like rolling across the chest, one side to the other, pressing through the hands. And then come up onto the fingertips. Let the elbows lift. The forehead comes to the ground. Now lengthen the legs back behind you. And then as you inhale, roll the shoulders back. Lift through the head and the chest. You just come up as high as feels okay. And then we come right back down again. This time we'll bring the hands down. And we'll come up into our low, high cobra. See what feels okay in your body. And then we're all the way back to child's pose. Take your knees nice and wide here in this child's pose. So again, I've been practicing child's pose here with my forehead on my hands, but if you like arms overhead and forehead to the ground, or arms along the side of your body, and let yourself settle here. You might ask yourself, what's ready to be shed? What's ready to be let go? It feels like it's ripe for dissolution, for being released back down into the earth so it can be recycled. What can you let go of that's served its purpose? So this is a emptying, right? And coming right into the center, to the pulse of the heart. Let's come back up. Come back up onto the knees. Slide the hands to the hips. Lift the heart. Roll the shoulders onto the back. Lift up through the chest. And then hands come down onto the ground, and we'll step the left foot forward. We can have the hands to the inside of the left foot, and if having the hands up on blocks is more comfortable here, you can have that, but we'll shift forward and back with the hips. So the inhale, reaching forward, and exhale, shifting back. And there's no right way to do this. It's just looking for the ways that the body can be supported to open and to lengthen. It's through yoga that we learn that flexibility, right? Having more mobility, having freedom in the body is not necessarily about stretching. We can stretch and stretch and stretch. It's the mindset, the state of the nervous system, how we act, right? Where it's the intention of the action, is the intention of this action to care for, right? Caring for something, that energy, very opening. Good. Let's just let that be real simple. So we'll come left foot back, slide the hands up the thighs. This time let's draw the hands in front and we'll open. So we have thumb and first finger together, palms open. I'm just feeling the front of the body here and opening. And then we can bring the elbows wide, the palms face in. You just turn to one side and then turn to the other. That's it. Hands come back to center. Hands come down the front of the body. Grounding, feeling the earth below. And then hands come back out. We're going to let the hips be high, but let the hands spread far forward. And then we're reaching heart, the pulse of the heart down towards the earth. So as you inhale, you might lift a little bit. And then as you exhale, reach the heart down. Again, inhale, lifting. Exhaling, heart towards the earth. Just twice more. And once more. And slide forward onto the elbows. Release the back of the neck, so let the head hang down. And you might sway a little side to side, each elbow. Slide the hands next to the rib cage. Loop the shoulders onto the back. Come up into your cobra, so it could be high, it could be low. And then all the way back to child's pose. This time, bring the palms together overhead. Let the forehead come down. Bend the elbows and draw the thumbs to the, excuse me, the nape of the neck. What leaves are turning brown and ready to release. It's ready to be let go. Let's come back up onto all fours. From there, we'll step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Again, coming up on the fingertips and finding the rock, the pulse, the rhythm, the movement that suits you. That's yoga, right? Yoga would be marrying my attention to my movements. You don't always have to do it through the whole yoga practice, right? We can think about the grocery list, it's okay. But the joy of being willing to participate with this life force as it is, just as it is. Putting down, put doubting down. But what I meant to say was to put down the need to fix or change. So much of that. Yeah. Yeah, let's go ahead and draw the right foot back. We're gonna come into a position, maybe we've done this before, but perhaps not. It's a little bit of like a frog pose. So frog pose is this position where the knees come real wide, and I find it to be really intense. And another way to do things is to have it so that maybe the knees don't need to be that wide, right? Maybe we just it's too much for the nervous system, or it's just not needed, right? So um, I like to practice it this way, where we come into this wide child's pose. So if my mat were wider, I don't even know if I would come that much wider wide than my mat. And then when you come forward, it's nice to have your knees on something soft. You're going to come all the way down onto your belly with the knees a little bit wider than they usually are. The soles of the feet will come together and the palms will come together, and we can pause here, releasing the back of the neck. And you can pull the feet a little closer to the hips and see how that feels. You can let the feet come a little bit further away from the hips and see how that feels. And then I like to sway the feet like in these big semicircles. And if it feels nice to be on the elbows here, you could be on the elbows. If it would feel better to be with the head laying down, it just depends on your energy level and what feels nice. Try spreading the toes and stretching the feet as you do this. So you could be like kind of flexing the ankles and spreading the toes. Could be curling the toes under and kind of like clasping the bottom of the feet. If the semicircle is feeling pretty good, you could take it into like full circles and let this movement travel up into the hips. Yeah, good. Mm-hmm. And then we're gonna roll over onto the left side of the body here, and you can use the right hand for support, and you can draw the right knee maybe up a little bit higher. Take the hand to the back of the head and open out into this twist, and then exhale, round forward. I'm quite close to the wall. I'm going to move forward. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to come right over to the other side. So roll back onto your back. Slide left knee up a little bit higher. Send the right arm overhead. And roll onto the right side of the body, using the left hand to kind of push. And I like the left hand behind the head to kind of play with this little bit of openness. If that feels like too much, you can have the hand on the ribs, on the belly, and just kind of see what it's like to the main movement here is just twisting open and I'm curling back under. So again, there's not it's a little bit more free movement than sometimes we explore. And there might be a particular place that feels good to stay. From here, we're going to roll all the way onto the back. So you can roll onto your back, find your mat, reorganize everything. Let your arms rest overhead if that's okay. Take the feet real wide. Let the knees move side to side. Back to center. So do just a little bit of bridge here. So pressing into the feet, lifting the hips and reaching the arms like a big yawn across the front of the body. And then when you exhale, draw the elbows down like towards cactus, but they might not even go that far. It's more just like a release. And then lift the hips, reach the arms. And lower the hips, bend the elbows. And go ahead and release everything. Draw the knees into the chest. Give a hug. And give a little rock side to side. Feel the back of the head massaging the ground. So if you had like a relationship with the earth below, and the back of the head was having some kind of conversation, some kind of wordless conversation. There's real reciprocity there. Feet to the ground, legs long, legs come resting in Shavasana. So just a brief Shavasana here since we've had this kind of moon practice, dissolution, shedding practice. Feel your body weight being released into the earth. And in your mind's eye, imagine a large full moon overhead. And imagine the coolness, the cold of the night under this big full moon. And in the cool, cold night, there's a clarity, a certain crispness to life. And in that crispness, in that cool, crisp air, you can feel your essence. And you know what's essential, what matters, and you have the courage and the know how to act in it. Any sense of kind of clarity, clearness, emptiness that you found, you can bring that forward with you as you roll over onto your side and all the way up. You bring one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly, touching back into that center point of our practice, right? The heart space. And always a good practice to listen inwards, especially in these times after practice where we feel maybe a little bit more settled and a little bit more quiet. Let's see what might be there. And then we'll bring palms together and bow forward. In gratitude to this practice, to all of the life force energies that have been put into this practice to give it in this way that we know it today and we can participate in. Thank you for practicing. Om Shanti. Om Peace.